Om Shanti.
So, Karin Eke, it is wonderful to welcome you to this special edition of Ask the Author for our new book, Magic and Miracles. Welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to share your magical awakenings, plural, because it's not just one. And they continue for you.
It's every day, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, like you were definitely one of the people who has inspired me to just open my eyes even more, because it feels like you just keep seeing more and more and more, and at times. There's so many things I want to say. I feel like you're seeing things at times when we would normally only see darkness. So let's just jump right into it, if you don't mind. I love the title of your chapter for Magic and Miracles, which is Twists and Turns May Make Me Learn, but Patience Never Fails Me.
Yeah, so, well, obviously comes from sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words never, aren't going to hurt me. So, yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff in these recent years, a lot of chaos, and but just through this inner knowing that everything's going to work out has enabled me to just move through it all and overcome everything. And well, even when I look back to when the first traumatic event, when my son was born, we found out that my son had health issues before he was born. I just knew that it was there was a reason behind it. There was something going on. It wasn't just, well, that's the way it is. That didn't satisfy me as an answer. But it was just head down and get on with it. And I didn't really look into it. I wasn't into spirituality or anything at the time, so I just got on with my life.
And so, well, now, I mean, we do have the benefit of hindsight. Hindsight is 20/20, as we say. So, you share this in the chapter of the book, Magic and Miracles. You talk about being there for this amniocentesis. You're getting this exam. When you look back now, your son is healthy. Thankfully, we got through that trauma. But when you look at it, what do you think was that significance? Because you're saying that things happen for a reason, that it wasn't just, oh, woe is me, I have a baby who's got this health problem. Like, you knew there was something behind it, even though you had to get on with the, motherhood and caring for the 3D world. How do you make sense of that now?
Okay, so I think there are multiple reasons for it. I don't have an explanation for everything, but how I see it is, he's had congenital heart disease, and there's a family history, so I'm sort of like helping the whole family open up their hearts on a different level. So my son had to open up his heart on a physical level, and but now there was a lot of heart opening and letting in more light and giving out more light that was necessary. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I see it today.
Yeah. And so, take us to this moment where the first little inkling of magic along, you and your son's journey, when you had to go and see a therapist. Talk to us about that.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely where the magic started. Or I really thought, wow, we are so much more than just a physical body.
Yes.
That was what came to me. And so my son was having therapy, and I was feeling the benefits in my body, and I wasn't at all having the same experience as my son. He was just going to these meetings, and I don't even know what was happening between them. But for me, I was feeling physical shifts in my body, like layers of emotional, blocked emotions were coming off. It was just magical. And before we'd even met, I could just feel this with the therapist, I could feel this energy flowing around me. I didn't know anything about energy at the time. And then it just, as the meetings went on, it sort of opened up doors to many, many different experiences. Just got better and better, synchronicities permanently. But I mean, for me, it was often number sequences. And they were just showing up when I was, having these great thoughts and these repeated numbers, 11, 11, 12, 12, 333, and, all these numbers have meaning now. Now I know that. And, I started dropping things, actually. That was the first thing. I wasn't used to dropping things or tripping over, and I just realized that at the same moment as I was dropping something, it was coinciding with a negative thought that I was having towards myself, or I call a self-sabotaging thought. Like, oh, why did I do this? Why did I say that? I should have done this. And then I realized, right, okay, everything is energy. So our thoughts are energy. And so I was giving off this negative thought, which vibrates at a certain frequency, and it was coming back into my reality. It was like the immediate boomerang effect of that thought that I've got to change this. I've got to change this self-sabotaging way of thinking.
And when you did, what did you notice?
That I stopped dropping things. And well, it's a process, because it's ingrained, and it's a whole process. And what did I notice? That more light came in. I was
like, you even mentioned that you had a relationship with the weather.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that was just absolutely amazing. When I was having these wonderful thoughts and all these, all ideas were coming to me, and wonderful thoughts and positivity and energy. And when I was thinking something amazing, the sun would suddenly start to shine. When I was in something negative, it would suddenly start to rain. At that point in time, it was just amazing. Or the wind would suddenly start to come in when I was having a thought that I wanted to blow away. So, I know it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
So what you're noticing is that there was no separation between you and the universe, you and the external world. Like, your energy, your thoughts, your vibration, your frequency was impacting your environment, including creating harmony at home. Like you mentioned that you were on this trip, and suddenly the kids are perfectly ready for bed. No drama. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. But I was, at that point in time, I just wasn't there anymore. I mean, in that sort of come out of myself, it was, and I was observing the room, but being in the room and having conversation and, being there, but observing at the same time, which just shows how we are multi-dimensional beings. You can be, our conversation is happening here now, but it's also vibrating elsewhere. We have all these experiences at the same time.
Now, as you look back over your life, I know we're going to talk a little bit about, some of the other abilities. Now that you've been on this journey, you do feel energy. You feel a flow from other people. You have this ability to affect energy with your hands and healing. But when you look back on earlier parts of your life, did you ever see any clues or feel anything, even as a child?
No, I used to daydream, I think, and I'd sort of like gaze, and I was just told to, well, close your mouth, and it wasn't the right thing to do. So I think just that part of me got shut down. So no, I don't really have any clues. I know when we look back into the past, I hear that you get clues, but I can't see any in my life anyway.
Okay. So tell us, how did you come across, you mentioned also in your chapter in the book that you came across a modality called quantum touch. Mm-hmm. And you just basically, once you started opening up to the power of the energy and your thoughts and vibration. You studied and you learned, and you were synchronistically brought to several experiences, teachers, what have you. Talk to me about that.
Okay, so quantum touch came into my life at an absolutely divine moment, because I went through a chaotic divorce, which started in 2013, and as that energy was leaving my space, it opened up a door for new energy, obviously, and I met quantum touch. And I got so excited about it when I did the online course. I thought I'll sign up for the course in Paris, or one of the courses in Paris. And so, at the beginning I couldn't feel energy. I didn't know anything about it, but it just resonated completely with me. And I was in that flow state where this is for me, and I've got to take this a step further. And I was just following my intuition about, doing it. And, do you want me to share some experiences I've had with it?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay, so the first experience I had was running after the first workshop. I tried one of the techniques called the vortex technique, and I really stepped into the vortex. And I was running energy, and I looked down at my hands, and I had no hands. There was nothing there. There was just they completely disappeared. There was just, I could see some energy. And but it's difficult to explain, difficult to understand, should I say, when you've not experienced that. It was like purple bluey light. And, that completely baffled me. It was a brilliant experience. So I was like, is this real? I looked away and I looked back again, still no hands. And then, oops, I felt fear. And, it's as soon as we get into that fear state, it jolts us out of any magical experience that we can have. But I didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
And since, I've had, experiences, or like feel my hands going inside bodies, even though obviously they don't.
Right.
But it's that sensation of we're so much more than just a physical vessel. Yeah.
And so you and I have talked about this before, that you feel like we are all on a path, an ascension path, and that we are moving upwards in terms of like our level of consciousness, our awareness, and our experience of life. So tell me a little bit more about how you see the ascension path and your work as a mystic and an energy healer.
Yeah, so, I think it's going to be different for anyone, but it's how to integrate these higher states of consciousness more regularly, on a more consistent basis in our 3D, if I can use that term, 3D reality, because there's this 5D reality where all there is love, compassion, empathy. There's no time, there's no space, and that's one of my magical experiences. Feeling this, like there's no time, there's no space, everything happens at once, together. And so this ascension path is, really just dealing with our emotions, which is energy in motion. And when it gets stuck in our energy system, as far as I see, it sort of prevents us from being who we're really here to be. So as we ascend into these higher states of consciousness, we can give off more light, we can receive more light, and that makes me think of the experience I had with you when we had our first Skype chat, and this energy that came running through me. It was absolutely amazing. It was a very, very strong experience, probably the strongest I've ever had, and it actually made me lie down. I mean, it was because it was that strong.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and I've lost my train of thought. But getting into the higher states of consciousness, and as we actually know what to do with this, we can just give it off, release it as sparks of light, as you said, and it enables more to come in.
Yeah.
For me, as it happened with this experience, it was just giving off this healing energy to various people, various situations in the world today. I was just following what was the images that were coming into my head, and I wasn't there. It was just this flow state that was absolutely magical.
Well, I do think it is magical, but I love how you really believe that if we could tune into these higher states of consciousness, starting with the very basic 3D world, just looking at the synchronicities, we would see that magic is around us all the time. And rather than calling things miracle, you think we could call it a normical.
Yeah, I said that because that's the founder of Quantum Touch. He calls a miracle a normical. I thought that was brilliant because it is just normal. And what we live in this 3D reality is not normal. But it's just...
So, what you're bringing up to me, the idea behind this book, Magic and Miracles, was really for us to each share things, experiences, mystical happenings, so that we all could realize that maybe there is a force that we can tune into, or maybe there is some guiding force that wants the best for us, so that even if we're in really challenging situations, which you were, I mean, here you have this tiny baby who needs this heart treatment, and then you're in the midst of a painful divorce, and you're going through all these different things, and yet what your story and what your experience is that we can tune into these higher states of consciousness that can allow us to be in a state of joy, even when everything is falling apart. Like, your story is one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, if I went through these things, I would feel like I just want to cry my eyes out and be like, woe is me, have a pity party. And yet you connected to joy. You connected to this wonder. How do you look at that now? Because it's very easy for you're talking about trains of thought that are so habitual. How do you reconcile that? Not falling back into the habitual pattern of feeling like, oh, my life sucks, oh, this is terrible, and staying connected to the side of joy.
Yeah, that's so. How do I stay connected? Well, I think just having these spontaneous, miraculous occurrences, for me back in 2010, how I see it now was preparing me. It just enabled me to shift through the ensuing chaos. And what's funny with the word chaos, its etymology, it means void, an empty, immeasurable space.
Wow.
And my mum used to call me KO, the two letters KO. And when you say the two letters KO in French, it means chaos.
Chaos.
That's really funny. So there's obviously, practices that, meditation and conscious practices that I have that enable me to get back into that vibration, because, life happens and there are ups and downs. It's just with the flow of the universe, expansion, contraction that you feel in your body, in your life, or whatever. So, people really don't understand how I coped with my chaos part, which I understand, because, if I hadn't have had all these wonderful experiences, I don't think I could have coped. But yeah, so I really want to give that message of hope that, everything is always divinely orchestrated. And when we're going through chaos, it's actually there for us, and it's not against us, even though it hurts, it's painful, but it's helping us open up our hearts and get into a different space completely. And when we go through chaos and trauma, there's always like a magical gift on the other side. Always. I don't know how that can look for everybody, and all these people are having these mystical, magical experiences. All our experiences are different, and mine change all the time. I mean, I had another one when I was in the States, and and that's because I was in resonance with someone, and I could feel her energy in my body, and we have this magical connection, and it was just, every experience is different.
And does that ever get scary for you, like feeling
Oh,
people's energy even at a distance?
no, it's so, this is amazing. It's like, bring it on. I want more of that. And that's, I've done access consciousness as well. And it's like, one of their mantras is, how does it get any better than this? That's really, how does it get better than this? Because it does. It just keeps getting better and better. It doesn't mean that, life doesn't happen and there are downs, but there are ups all the time. So, so that's, the real message that I want to convey is have faith, have life is magical, and we can get over our trauma. No problem. Even if it's painful.
Yes. Well, I love watching your energy. I love how passionate you are about all of this. And you're even making yourself available, not just for people who come in person to where you are in Paris, but people can also connect with you online and either.
Yeah. And that's so much fun as well, because it just amazes me every time that, I can be talking with someone in Canada and, well, how do you know I had a problem with my knee? And I don't know, I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's just magical.
It is magical. Well, thank you again for being so generous and sharing your story in this book, Magic and Miracles. I love that what you're allowing people to tune in for is an angel card reading and what you're calling a Magic and Miracles breakthrough session, where they can have a 30-minute call with you. So I'll put the link to how people can sign up for that. I just love how your awakening and your ascension process is something that you're sharing with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your generosity in bringing all these authors' stories to life, because, we've had these magical experiences, but we can have them with consciousness as well. It can happen with intention.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be spontaneous.
Right. And that's really, what my joy is in watching this happen, is that as each of us is able to step out and share what's happened for us, it lets the rest of the world know that you're not weird if you can feel people's energy, or if you see things or hear things that other people don't. There are many of us, and we might actually be able to fine-tune those abilities so that we can make it through life, life's ups and downs, the traumas, the dramas, with a little more ease and grace and joy.
Yeah. That's definitely helped me to get through my trauma with faith.
Yeah. Well, Karin, it's been a wonderful pleasure to visit with you, and I know we're going to have another conversation about the story that you shared in our other book, Life After Trauma. So thank you again for opening up.
It's a true honor to have connected with you and to be able to bring so much to life. So, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, I'm excited that we're connected, and I love that now we can get together in person and really do some energy beaming and enhancing these skills for everyone. So I'm really looking forward to what the new year brings for us.
Yes, yeah. So am I. The message has been sent out there.
Exactly. Brace yourselves, people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, be sure to check out Karin online at theascensionpath.com. And as I mentioned, there's a link in the description for this video where you can book your 30-minute call with Karin. Until next time, my friends, just please remember that you are a miracle and you are a gift to this world. So share your presence with passion. Much love.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Did you enjoy that interview? I sincerely hope so. If you did, please click that like button and share this video with someone else who needs a little positivity sprinkled into their life. If you know someone, or maybe you yourself, have a story that you want to share with the world, then please check out our publishing options at makeyourmarkglobal.com. And we just might be sharing your message with the world very soon.